Here we go.
Are you ready? You think you can tell us what to do? You think you can tell us what to wear? You think that you're better? Well, you better get ready. Bow to the masters. Break it down!
I couldn't not let it get to that part.
Yeah, it has to go to that part.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well,
constitutional amendment right there.
It would pass.
Yep.
51 votes and then 60 to make it permanent. But, you know, let's see. Here we are, the War Report. Brought to you by TagMeADate.com, the first only dating site exclusively for wrestling fans. It's free to sign up. Thousands and thousands of members, superstars and divas for you to choose from to find your tag team match. And, of course, the War Report is a weekly wrestling podcast. And so far, we're early in the week, but a lot happened last night. So,
a lot.
And then today,
a lot happened in the last 24 hours.
Yes, it was a crazy 24 hours. Yeah, and right now, nobody wants to ask how you doing. That would just be such an awkward question to ask. Hey,
I will do it.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Somehow we're all okay with telling people to suck it, but go.
Yeah.
Go
how you doing? Nope.
That would be so bad. Enzo's sitting in a meeting with Triple H, and he's like, Enzo, what happened? He just goes, I learned it from you.
Where'd you learn this from?
Hard cut to the scene of Stephanie passed out in the convertible. Check out the new Mrs. Levesque. And she's passed out in the fucking side of the car. Yeah.
Oh,
not exactly the best message.
The question isn't if we commemorated the night. It was how many times.
Oh, that was there. The best one. Didn't X-Pac get him somebody got tickets for Test to sit front row or whatever. Stephanie would want to sit front row, watch Test and Triple H go. But then one of the other wedding gifts was, I think it was from X-Pac. He goes, I got something for the wedding night or whatever. It was like, it looked like a lingerie box, but he opened it up and it was empty. And the implication was that she was going to be naked. So those crazy DX guys.
I did not sleep with that intern. I was up all night.
So here, let me.
We're trying to.
I prefer the about Bill Clinton, the favorite game of swallow the leader.
No. This is not the tone we have to set for discussing what happened today. Is it really though?
This is our place in the world.
It seems like a good topic to start with.
So yeah, how you doing? Not so good, Enzo. Not so good, buddy.
Here's my thing, and I'm all for, women coming out and saying that they've been harassed or whatever and sexually assaulted in any way. It should be brought out and it should be unaccepted. And I think the WWE made the decision they had to make for PR reasons. My problem is, at this point, you are automatically now guilty until proven innocent. Yeah. And it should be the other way around. From what I'm understanding, this girl, right? Didn't we read something that she's had prior claims that were a lie?
She faked the pregnancy.
Yeah.
Right. So right now he loses his fucking job, and nobody has said he's guilty.
Well, publicly. Now the concerning, there are a couple of concerns here, because yes, when somebody says that they are assaulted, we should believe them and stop. You would like to think that in a situation like this, somebody would be as forthcoming and as truthful as they could be. Unfortunately, the reality is not everybody is as honest or nice as we'd like them to be. So as much as you want to believe somebody and take their word for it, you do have to maintain at least some semblance of not necessarily doubt, but skepticism, and allow for again, like Steve said, this is we're in a society and a time now where you are guilty until proven innocent, which really shouldn't be the case. But while we accept what the accuser says, we should also accept if there is evidence that the person being accused can provide. If they provide evidence that is factual and credible and believable, and that's really the matter, is that both people, and again, this is why we try these things in court and not over Twitter or public opinion polls. We don't just put up a Facebook poll with a couple GIFs on it and then everybody
bring out our torches and pitchforks.
Yeah, angry react if Enzo should go to jail. Heart react if he should go free. Thumbs up for parole. Like that's not how we vote on things.
And sad face if oh crap, where was I going to go with that?
The laughing one.
The laughing face if you just think it's awesome.
She goes to jail. No way.
You know what? The other annoying part about this whole thing is that it already on social media. I mean, people are already convinced he's guilty. People are, oh, so glad he got fired, piece of trash, and this and that.
Never liked him anyway, and all that.
He's not doing himself any
by
favors.
staying quiet. No, he's not doing himself any favors.
To draw a parallel,
he's being advised to keep quiet.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. But look at Aziz Ansari. Last week or the week before, a woman wrote an op-ed article that was published about how she had a bad date with Aziz and he was kind of forceful. And again, it wasn't necessarily rape, but she felt assaulted or offended by it. And that's valid, but he stayed silent. He didn't get on Twitter and make a statement or send out a statement from an attorney or make a press conference. I mean, there's a number of things you can do in that situation when you're accused, even if you're guilty. I mean, shit, learn from Bill Clinton. He was guilty. He came, listen, everything's all right. We're going to fight this thing. You know what I mean? Like, goddamn. But I don't like that we're going to, we have a podcast and we're going to talk about it, but it's when people get on Twitter and they're just they're saying stuff like, "Oh, I never liked him anyway," which maybe you did, maybe you didn't. I know a lot of people liked Enzo. Enzo was over until 12 hours ago, but you do still have to let this guy has to be able to defend himself.
Yeah,
and we have to give him an opportunity to defend himself. Now,
it hasn't even gone to court or anything,
right? And it hasn't even been a day since the accusations came out. So.
Well, actually, apparently the accusations came out in October.
Ooh.
She apparently went to the police October 23rd and filed a claim, and they went into investigations, and he didn't tell the WWE.
All right, well, now that's stupid.
Which makes him look bad either way. So even if he is innocent, he's not going to get let back into the company.
Well, that's not necessarily
true.
If this goes away and it blows up and you find out that he's innocent, I mean, there's no reason why they wouldn't bring him back.
Yeah, if he's exonerated, if there's proof that he's innocent.
Do you think he'd get like a big pop if he came back, like if after he was proven innocent and all that?
That I don't know.
I don't know.
Very good question.
It's hard to say, right?
Because the reactions out there right now are not good. So, but I feel like, that music hits. Because you're not going to hear that music anymore. It's not like Cass is going to come back and use it. He's got new music.
So he's got that awful. Sounds like
whether it sucks or not.
Together.
He's got new music.
Oh yeah, he's definitely got new music now.
But you're not going to hear it. So you're going to eventually hear that. Yeah, I can see a pop.
Like you still wanted, like even before this came out, people were still chanting along with his thing, even though he's a heel.
Yeah.
Right.
Because everybody likes it. Fun. It's sing along is fun. The New Age Outlaws perfected that.
Right. I was going to say it draws parallels because the New Age Outlaws, even when they were heels, people would still do the thing along with them and the Rock and everybody. So
I did it along last night, man.
It's better when they're heel because they don't want you to do it.
There you go.
And this is not sing along with the Rock.
Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking.
That's what got Rock over as a face.
So I want to switch gears kind of quickly over to this because we could be on this topic for a good majority of the night.
Yeah, and it'll come up in future.
It will come because more facts will be revealed the longer this goes on. So right now we have almost no information, and I'm allowing the accuser to provide her evidence, and I'm allowing the accused to provide counter evidence. And here's the thing. One other thing, and we should move away from this quickly because we don't have a lot of information. Rich Swann is still employed by WWE but suspended. And they said last week if there was a conviction, he would be fired. If you look at what happened with Enzo, last night they announced he was suspended last night, and then today announced he was released. Yeah, it's definitely a different severity. But what I'm saying is it almost seems like Rich Swann is the pigeon in the coal mine, kind of, because he didn't get fired. He's still suspended, and they're still investigating the case, which means that there's been no conviction. Now, there's been no conviction with Enzo.
Division.
But something happened behind closed doors where the WWE found out a piece of information they didn't like. Whether it was the thing about it was reported and investigated, and he didn't inform the WWE of it. And then again, is that his responsibility? I mean, who knows?
Good point.
Is it like, at what point does he have a private life separate from the public entity of Enzo Amore? But it seems that something nobody knows publicly was discussed between them, and it led to because otherwise they would be content to leave him suspended. And he's
what Daniel Bryan got fired for.
Daniel Bryan choked a guy with his tie, and they fired him. And
it could be one of those situations where we have to do this.
It's just better to get away from it. Like, I understand. I completely understand. It's better to get away from it. And
it's just also because of everything that is happening with this whole.
Yeah. If it comes to pass that he's innocent or is found, then you can worry about, well, how are we going to rebuild Enzo Amore? Cross that bridge.
Yeah.
Later, you got to worry about whether or not the guy's does what he does there.
Horrible human being, or
listen, he's already. Oh, come on! You take one look at him, he's a horrible human being. But is he a rapist?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, nobody with a hair like that is a
I'll take the rapist for 100.
Oh, we lost every sponsor we don't have anymore.
Exactly.
We can't lose the sponsor because we are our own sponsor. Yay!
You can't lose what you don't have.
Steve, what's on your mind? What was that next topic?
Yes, let's move on now because we can't go anywhere else with this until we know more.
Nope.
I kind of want to. I want to dissect Raw, but what I really want to do is talk first about the dislikes and the questionable. And what I mean by that is, first, Manhattan Center. Here's my deal. I think this was done poorly. I think I get the prestige and the history of the Manhattan Center. I think everybody should have been at Barclay.
Yeah.
You lose a lot. That's the biggest thing.
Can I add one thing?
Yeah.
If it should have been one or the other.
Here, well, you can't because Manhattan Center is so limited to the amount of seats.
I'm just saying, if you wanted to do the center, you do it.
Or do it right. Or how about this one, Ryan? I like where you're going with this. The pre-show. Do a 2-hour instead of a 1-hour pre-show, do a 2-hour pre-show from the Manhattan Center. Get all that shit out of the way and then go over to Barclays, because the only thing I'm thinking is they forgot what happened at WrestleMania 2.
That's what I was thinking.
And they wanted to try it again because they wanted to do another split WrestleMania or split pay-per-view. And this was they were testing the waters. And luckily it stunk and we'll never have to put up with it again.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good. The Raw, listen, I liked Raw. I just think the idea of the way that they split that up was the shits.
Yeah, I feel bad for the people at Manhattan Center. I mean, I don't know what went on when we weren't watching or when they weren't showing us, but I mean, I've seen pictures of Jerry Lawler falling asleep at the announce table, and I heard video of chants of the crowd asking for a refund. This is bullshit. Yeah. So I kind of, and the tickets weren't cheap there either. So,
not at all.
You know,
Yeah,
I feel bad for these guys, and it's like, you know, they should have had everything at Barclay. You know, the Taker segment sucked, in my opinion.
I have no idea what
Why were the lights on?
The lights were on. It was
I thought
too
that the
short.
lights were on just because they couldn't turn them off. And then Bray Wyatt came out. I'm like, wait, so he gets his lights off, but the Undertaker didn't?
It takes a lot away from the Undertaker when he doesn't get to have his full entrance, and you can't do it there. You can do it in Barclay. You know, maybe it was the picks of the people that they chose to have Matt and Bray finally have a match, and Matt loses at Manhattan Center. Like, it was just weird.
Yeah.
The only positive for me out of the Manhattan Center was the end with the club and DX and the whole thing. But even still, it was like, that should have been at Barclays Center. Yeah. You would have had more crowd involvement. As good as they were there, it's limited.
Yeah.
You know, so that was my biggest takeaway with Manhattan Center. However, Raw, I thought, was fucking great.
Yeah, if that was all contained in one building, it would have blown the doors off wherever they ran it. And that's the thing. It was such a good Raw if you looked at it from a television perspective, and then you realize that these people. I read a Reddit thread from some guy who basically typed out everything they saw in between. For the bigger angles, they put them up on the projector.
Yeah.
And then for the people that were sitting by the projector, they wheeled out flat screen TVs so they could see them, which that's nice.
That is nice.
But you paid $400 to watch TV. Yeah. No good. So they put on the cruiserweights, but the cruiserweights would only have like 3 or 4 minutes to work because they would do it in between a commercial break or during a segment that they weren't airing in the Manhattan Center. They put on like a little match. The most ridiculous of them was they did a cruiserweight tag team match. They brawled to the back after 2 minutes. After a bunch of shit happened in the ring, they brawled back out and wrestled for the Manhattan Center crowd during a commercial break, finished the match, and then fucked off again so they could get to another segment.
That's hilarious.
Weird.
They sold it like they were fighting backstage for half an hour and then came back out to finish the match because somebody said Drew Gulak poured a bunch of water over himself so he looked like he was sweating a lot. Yeah, and then they came back out and finished the match. So kudos to them for doing what, those guys were sent out to do a particular job, and you can't fault them.
Yeah.
But, this is on management for sure. Not a great. It's and I think they know it. I think they acknowledged it didn't work. At least internally, nobody said anything I made an official statement, but I think they know it didn't work.
If they go official, they have to do some form of refund.
Oof. Oh my! Could you imagine those tickets? First of all, were like I think they were 400 up to 900.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which is already stupid dumb, and
stupid dumb.
Just why would you do that? Just who does WrestleMania tickets? If you wanted to, don't cost that.
Yeah,
you could get cheaper WrestleMania tickets than you could Manhattan Center tickets. So. Don't do that. If that option comes up again, just don't.
And listen, before we talk about all the things we really enjoyed,
this Raw was really good. It was
really good.
And I don't want to shit on it the whole time, but the one other thing I have is how do you have a 25th anniversary Raw without Hulk Hogan, without I mean, let's even Hogan for a second. If you notice all the packages and stuff, they showed CM Punk.
Yes.
A still shot of the pipe bomb. Yeah. And you got about half of a second of a small shot of Hogan in line with the rest of the NWO members. Like there was like nothing towards Hogan. And there was no Rock. There was not even a fucking satellite feed. Nothing.
Right, I was thinking The Rock couldn't take 2 seconds out of his day to make an Instagram video.
Yeah.
Hey guys, it's Big Dwayne, The Rock. Finally, The Rock is back home for another 15 seconds. Jesus. And so but here's the thing about Hogan. What they'll say is Hogan wasn't around during the Monday Night Wars. He was on Nitro. So why are we going to celebrate him on Raw when he was on Nitro trying to put Raw out of business? But then you've got Scott Hall. You invited Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. And X-Pac.
Xbox came back.
He did come back. He came back.
The good turning point era.
Yeah, he was the one.
Looked pretty good last night.
He does. Listen, that guy doesn't age. I think all the meth preserved him.
Did you guys see what Hulk Hogan tweeted last night?
Yeah.
No, what did he tweet?
He said, "Very hard sitting at home and not being at Raw 25 with all my friends, but really enjoyed seeing it all. How great the show was." Hogan.
See, I feel bad for him. Like, that sucks.
Yeah.
There would never be a Monday Night Raw without Hulk Hogan. It would have never gotten that far.
Exactly.
Yeah. We have to start differentiating between actual malicious, racist, and bigoted people and people who are just old and use the wrong words sometimes.
Yeah.
Because
I think I'm more bothered by the fact that Hulk Hogan was suicidal and someone recorded him.
And the fact that he's got like a big ass soda can dick. Like, I mean, listen, he should be proud of that one.
It's not
Someone
right.
took the Pepsi challenge.
that girl took the Pepsi plunge.
Oh, God.
And not CM Punk's pedigree from the top rope. Which was, he called the Pepsi plunge. Which he stopped doing because it was fucking up his knees. He never did it in the WWE. People would have shit themselves if he did it in the WWE.
Oh, I'm sure.
But Raw was, I enjoyed Raw. I saw a lot of criticism of Raw that they they put out they put over the legends at the expense of the new talent, and they don't use the legends to build new talent. Especially regarding the Revival getting the shit kicked out of him in like a house show ending. But that's 1 week. You know what I mean? Next week
you're celebrating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is like
you're celebrating the past.
It's like the All-Star game. It's not serious.
Mm-hmm.
It's the home run derby. You go out there, you have a little fun, and it's back to the storylines next week. They're no, they didn't build to the road to WrestleMania last night. I don't know what to tell you. It's coming whether you know it or not, whether they build to it or not. The date's there. I see it on my calendar. I'm going. I got a flight. So I mean, they're building the road to WrestleMania. It just may not be in the manner that you want. I don't know. I wasn't as critical.
Yeah, it was the 25th anniversary of Raw. That's going to take priority over the Rumble.
Yeah.
And I loved listening to the fans react to every time someone else came in. It was awesome.
Well, let's talk about how Raw started. With
my God.
Oh my God.
I mean, you want to talk about the roof.
On the couch.
I mean, I marked out like I was 15 years old again.
Yeah.
I mean, this was, to hear that broken glass. I mean, and just the whole segment. Vince was great as always.
Yeah, he was.
Everyone did great. I mean, even when Austin stunned Shane and he goes, he had that coming. Don't worry about it. I mean,
no, even when he stunned him the second time with the beer and he sprayed it out.
Yeah. I mean, just everything about it was just so well done. I just wish they had more time for some of these guys.
Yes.
Yeah,
I like the whole stun. Shane's still spry. He's in great shape.
I live in a retirement community. He's like, what the fuck?
I'm a part of AARP.
I like when he spilled. Vince walked over and just spilled more beer on Shane. I'm like, oh, you dick.
It was so funny.
That was so funny.
All right, so Ryan,
this is for my Christmas gift.
He's like, more slippers. And he just said, all right, so Ryan sent a message through the group from the desk of Timothy J. Eckstein, attorney at law. Statement from counsel for Eric Arndt. Over the last 2 days, Philomena Sheehan has made multiple public accusations against Eric Arndt, also known as Enzo Amore, with the WWE, including allegations of sexual misconduct concerning an October 2017 incident in Phoenix. Mr. Arndt fully and unequivocally denies those accusations. He is cooperating with the authorities in this matter and looks forward to having it resolved in a timely manner. Neither Mr. Arndt nor his counsel will be making any further public comments on this matter. So at least he's talked about it. He said something. I'm a little bit. That's a little better. That doesn't say much, you know. He said more than Aziz did, so you know it's a start, but
something.
We'll see. Yeah, it's again, this is not something we're gonna delve into tonight because there's just not enough factual evidence of anything available. But Raw, I think Raw was exactly what it needed to be. And Eric, you're right. There was times where you wanted more for the people. I wanted more for the women that came out. They were just like, hey,
yeah,
these were wrestlers.
You're Trish Stratus. You fly all the way from Canada for you to walk out like you're back at the Hall of Fame and you're just going out and taking a bath.
I thought they would especially do something bigger.
Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe she would at least hint to the fact, like, maybe I'll see you Sunday or something to kind of say, you know, there's the Rumble, you know.
I also heard Lita wasn't invited.
What? Why?
I don't know. I think another thing she said it on Twitter. I guess she wasn't at. Somebody asked if she was, you know, why she wasn't there. She said, I wasn't invited.
Wow.
Why wouldn't you?
Weird.
But the segments were good. The Legends segments.
Considering what they did with them, she was.
Yeah, I know. Then it was a waste of time for Lita. But the Legends segments with the managers, Brother Love came out.
That was great.
And, oh man, Coach was there. Teddy Long was there. Brawler was there. It's always good to see Brawler.
Harvey Whippleman.
Harvey Whippleman.
Downtown Bruno. Harvey Whippleman was there. What a man. And the Boogie. Boogie was looking great.
Yeah.
There was a video.
No. What was looking great about that? It was gross.
What I mean is the guy is 50-something years old and he's
still eating worms.
Yeah. There's a video on Twitter.
That's why he lives so long.
It must all the protein. The New Day gave him a box of Bootios. So he pulled some worms out and gave them to Austin, Xavier, whatever he is now. And Xavier ate some of the worms, and then they all kind of the New Day ran off. And I think the punchline was something like Boogios. Because the worms were Boogios instead of Bootios. So it's worth looking up. It's pretty funny to see the New Day in their strange mannerisms interact with other stranger mannerisms. Because the Boogie smashes the fucking clock over his head, and one of them goes, "That's weird," and the other one, and then I think it was Xavier goes, "That's weird," and Kofi goes, "No, that wasn't weird at all," and Biggie's like, "Nope, wasn't weird."
I like the general managers coming out on the stage too. John Laurinaitis with that red people power suit.
He should have came out on the Segway or whatever the fuck it was, the scooter.
But when Bischoff came out,
Bischoff's pop was incredible.
And again, that's another guy. You get him from fucking South Dakota or wherever he lives now in the middle of nowhere, and fly him out so he can wave at people.
They need to bring him back.
He's one of the unintentionally, because he was a behind the scenes guy, unintentionally became a really good talker, really good manager, really good authority figure. One of the best heels of that era.
Oh, for sure.
And he did, they had everybody had the heel authority figure. There was the heel Paulie in ECW. There was the heel McMahons, and there was the heel Bischoff. And
he's up there with Vince.
He's up there. He really is. He's up there. Yeah. I give him a lot of credit.
And I loved his character, like his sarcasm. He come out, smile. I love each and every one of you.
Seriously, he was. And he even had that look on, like he's like when he came out, he had that like, come on, louder, you want to get, he egged him on.
Yeah,
cheer loud. It was wonderful. He was, and again, I don't know how he did it because he kind of turned from this little like a shitty commentator into a good manager. I guess it's just a matter of finding the role that suits you.
Yeah,
indeed.
Yes, indeed. Where were those guys?
Oh, miss.
Kai and Tai.
Yeah. That would have caught so much heat, though, if they did the whole Indeed.
Well, yeah. Especially nowadays. But they showed Godfather with his supposed wife. And
God bless him.
He went on Instagram and he puts up a picture from last night and it says TV wife, And then he puts up a picture of his real wedding from like fucking 25 years ago, and it says real wife. And no offense to the very attractive woman on Monday night, he has a hot wife. They're both hot. His TV wife was hot. He lives a good life, that man. 420 Smoke Train on Instagram, The Godfather. And I'm not joking. That's his username, 420 Smoke Train.
Amazing what he got away with.
It really is how he got away with being an actual pimp. like a real life pimp, and then later, I mean, not he
owns a strip club now.
He owned an escort service, I think, at one point. Maybe they're a kind of a twofer deal there, where if you own a strip club, you kind of own an escort service as well. But he's an entrepreneur, so good for him. He made it work. I mean, he took something that was a character and made it reality.
But then you look at The Nation and how they sprouted these characters. Like, they grew these characters while they were in The Nation. Like, The Rock became The Rock in The Nation, or The Godfather became D-Lo got his own. Mark Henry was Sexual Chocolate. All these things came from The Nation. It was so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big part of Raw too. The Nation were, on Raw.
Yeah.
At least Farouk was on. I mean, you got most of The Nation. There was no D-Lo. That's always disappointing when there's no D-Lo.
But APA with the door, knock on the door. I love it.
And they Slater slammed the door in Apollo's face, and Apollo pushed it. Go! Don't you slam the door in my face? Yes. He could have just walked around the fucking thing, but he adamantly, don't you slam the door in my face.
It's courtesy. You gotta knock on the door.
Yeah.
Oh, and that whole thing was because it started with a small poker game and just slowly grew, and more people were added. And when the New Day were playing,
he throws 10 grand on the table.
The New Day were throwing pancakes into the pool. Like in the middle of the table, all the chips were thrown down, and there were fucking pancakes in it. Dana Brooke had the clipboard thing. By my calculations, you've lost a lot of money. It's like, yeah,
that was funny.
But she didn't even give a number. She just said a lot of money. A lot. Okay, thank you, Dana.
Ballpark.
I do like that she's doing that now.
I can't stand her.
It's better than whatever she was doing before.
Yeah. Very true.
She's like Marlena. Not Marlene, but what she was in WCW. What was her gimmick in WCW?
Alexandra York.
There it is. She's taking inspiration from the York Foundation for her outfits and all that.
It's better because I hated Dana Brooke's entrance with the arm thing.
The one arm? Yeah.
What the hell is that? I hate that.
I was going to say the same thing. What is that?
No idea.
Listen, I don't think she's going to be a main eventer or anything. But I think in the right context and especially used as a manager like this, she might be able to get some talent over. This Titus Worldwide thing is better. They're all better together than they are separately, because who wants to watch Titus by himself? And I like Apollo Crews, but he's a very good wrestler. He's not very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And Dana's Dana. But the weird thing is Tozawa, the power of Tozawa. Remember that time when he was with Titus Worldwide? What happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it got him the Cruiserweight title for a little bit.
They didn't mention it at all. He just stopped. He just was like, ha, ha, ha. So what does that mean? The little subtitles. I'm done. No, that never happened. We need that promo where he goes, ha, ha, and there's translation for no, that's racist too. We shouldn't do that. If we can't get away with Indeed, we can't give Tozawa subtitles. That would be really poor thing.
I think we can get away with it. Let's do it. Book it.
So I was thinking of something earlier. Enzo is now out of the picture, unfortunately, for the Nia Jax storyline. However, Gabagulak is still there.
Yeah.
Hear me out here. They continue the storyline with him, and he rides out to the ring on her shoulders like Master Blaster.
God, yes. Yes.
I want him to come out to the ring for a match riding on her shoulders with just this triumphant look on his face. I think we've got a winner. Judging by Amanda's reaction, I think we've got a winner.
It'd be something.
It would be amazing.
Well, what were we saying about 205 Live, that they were going to push Gold Dust?
That's what. Well, that's weird. On there recently, like he's like helping out
Cedric,
and they were actually going to lead to a match. Like he just beat the whole Zo Train on 205, and he was going to fight Enzo.
Right,
that was one of them.
Yeah, he had to beat the whole Zo Train to even to get to earn the right to fight Enzo. Yeah. Jeez.
And then he was moving like a goddamn cruiserweight. He's 48 years old.
He's probably, you know what? He might be 205.
238.
Is he? Stevie Richards said he's 204.
The
Hurricane said he knows a guy and held up both his previous cruiserweight championships from WCW and the WWE. There was a time a couple of years ago I worked a couple shows, maybe one or two shows with the Hurricane. He was on the Indies, and in between, during intermission, he came up and he's like, "Do you still have the microphone?" I'm like, yeah. Can you just make an announcement that the Hurricane is going to be signing autographs with the WCW Cruiserweight Championship? I said, "Excuse me?" One more time. He fucking pulls the WCW Cruiserweight Championship belt out of a bag, and I damn near shit myself. I'm like, that's the belt. Absolutely. So I made the announcement, and everybody's like, holy, like the people that went up to get the picture taken was like, holy shit, this is the belt. But because it was just, who would have thought the WCW? I would have never thought in a million years that I'd see an original WCW championship belt, and there it was. Where do they go from here, though? In the
tournament?
Yeah.
How about
what's Ray doing these days?
Who knows?
Burn it. Burn 205 to the ground.
How about a 205 Rumble?
Ooh, that'd be cool.
205 Rumble for the new champ.
Where would you do it?
Pre-show. I'm sorry, that's rude. I shouldn't say that, but that's what they do.
They should.
Or just
do a pre-show main event.
Or just do it on the next 205 after the Rumble.
Yeah, that's true. Could they find 30 cruiserweights?
Well, they'd have to go to the indie scene.
Yeah, this could just be a way to bring Ricochet up sooner, too. Now that there's a spot missing with Enzo.
We want to get to talk about the Rumble real quick because that's coming up. But can we just take 2 seconds, just 2 seconds, with takeover predictions? Because they announced a few matches. And we could just get that out of the way pretty quickly.
Sure. What do we? I'll pull up the Wikipedia.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, let's do that.
I always forget that there's takeover before.
Yeah, because they only come up every 3 months or every 4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the big ones. That
big 4.
So we've got four matches. Andrade Cien Almas. I still don't like that name. With Zelina Vega versus Johnny Gargano in a singles match for the NXT Championship.
Yeah, no, I had said one of two things. Either Ciampa's going to come out and cost him the title, or he's going to attack him after he wins it.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be some Ciampa one way or another. When we were talking about it, I said, what if Candice, Johnny's wife, comes out, who's a new signee for NXT, and turns heel and aligns with Ciampa instead of her husband, and then have a whole other layer to it. But
it's like you said, major heat, man.
Because she could almost come out as to neutralize Zelina Vega. Maybe she helps him win the match, and then turns on him when Ciampa comes in after the match, because Ciampa wants not only to fight Johnny, he wants to take the title from him. So he set the whole thing up for Johnny to win the title, and then I don't know. That seems so convoluted. It might be something they do, but
yeah,
it'll be a good match either way because both those guys can work.
Both good hands, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to be a good match. I mean, would it be too soon to switch the title to Johnny Gargano right now?
No.
I don't think so.
Because I don't. Had Drew not got injured in that match, would he have lost the title?
I don't think so.
Like, were they intending to give it to Andrade? I don't think they were.
No.
Okay. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure of what the intent.
So I wouldn't be unhappy if Johnny won at all.
All right, good. So we'll go with Johnny. Johnny Wrestling. There's an Extreme Rules match between Adam Cole and Aleister Black.
That should be really good.
That should be awesome.
I think Aleister Black has to win that one, right?
Yeah. Or if you want to put Cole into the title picture, he has to pick up the W.
I feel like it's going to be Adam Cole.
Baby!
Baby.
You want Gargano and Cole at Mania?
Ooh.
And maybe they do. Maybe that's a way if Aleister puts over Adam Cole, Aleister goes up to the main roster.
True.
There have been talks of Aleister coming up sooner than later.
He's so fucking good.
He's awesome. Crazy.
Ember Moon versus Shayna Baszler is another match.
Ember Moon keeps the title.
Yeah, I can't see them taking it off of her after all that.
Yeah, but
the rest to get there too soon.
You have to remember that this we're talking about a couple things. We're talking about the WWE and a celebrity who wants to wrestle, or at least a semi-celebrity that wants to wrestle. Because nobody really, honestly, nobody in the MMA world really gave a shit about Shayna Baszler. She was good, but she was never.
I didn't even know
a world beater.
No, she didn't really have many wins. I don't think.
Yeah, she was, and she was more. It was more by association with Ronda. And now that the other two girls aren't wrestling.
But at least people know her name. The other two, nobody knows their names.
No, you couldn't. If you gave me $10 for each of the names, I couldn't tell you right now.
No.
I'd come up with $20 out of the possible 40. Because I seriously don't know who those other two horsewomen were. But they're gone now, so. Never to be spoken of again.
Nope.
And the Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly against the Authors of Pain with Paul Ellering for the NXT Tag Team titles.
I see.
It's like so unrealistic. I don't get how anybody could beat AOP, though.
Yeah. They're not going to get the time. I see them going main roster soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have to. They're too big.
They're too big.
They're too big.
There are these guys. It's not just them.
But it's so simple.
There's the AOP. There's Heavy Machinery. There's War Machine.
Bludgeon Brothers.
The Bludgeon Brothers. The Revival. They're not necessarily tall, but they're like Arn Anderson-y, like thick guys.
Yeah.
Gallows and Anderson.
The Good Brothers. We have good tag teams right now, and we should be thankful for WWE for having such good tag teams.
The tag team division is
It wasn't that long ago that we were having a different conversation saying, what are they doing with the tag team division?
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Ago. Yeah, they've really improved.
Wonderful.
Yes. Yeah, within the last like 7 months or 7 months, I'd say they really stepped it up.
Even Ascension's.
Oh, the Ascension? Yeah, they're starting to actually wrestle matches again. Good for them.
Yeah, but they're not winning anything.
Oh, no, they're never going to win anything. I like those guys.
They're better characters, at least.
They are.
Yeah, I think they're... If you watch any of the stuff they do with either the Fashion Files or even just like on YouTube when they're playing on like Up, Down, Down or something, or they did the one where Breezango and Ascension switched entrances and switched outfits. And that's up on YouTube, and the Ascension guys nailed it.
I'll tell you what, though, the Fashion Files is saving all of their careers right now.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because it's hilarious.
Yeah, because there's nothing else for those.
And it's meant to be silly, It's not meant to be like taken serious. That's what's great about it.
Yeah, and it's a nice little side thing. It doesn't affect any of the main event storylines. It's not like Breezango find the fucking Money in the Bank contract hidden in a briefcase and cash. You know what I mean? They're not doing shit like that. They're staying in their own little universe.
Yeah, I mean, look, Hacksaw Jim Duggan found the WCW TV title in the trash can. Remember that?
Oh, tough guy.
Yes, I'm the champion now. I have a question. How does Kofi escape elimination this year?
I think Kofi jumps off the heads of Frank the Clown and the Brock Lesnar guy and jumps back in the ring.
He was at the Manhattan Center.
Those two were both at the Manhattan Center, and they were pissed.
They must have been so pissed.
They were not happy campers.
Brock Lesnar guy was tweeting and seemed like
I know Frank was happy though. I think Brock Lesnar guy is always just happy to be there. He just looks
happy.
Yeah, Frank did not look like a happy camper spending $800 and something on that.
He didn't fucking pay for his ticket.
I'm sure he couldn't have.
He didn't pay for that shit.
He couldn't have.
Frank the Clown?
Yeah, he gets a comp, right? Him and Noel get comps.
Yeah.
I have to imagine.
I feel like even
although I didn't see Noel with him. I didn't see Noel sitting with him.
Maybe she was at Barclays because I saw pictures of her around Raw stuff yesterday. So
why was it that Mick wasn't there again?
He chose not to be there. He said that it wouldn't make sense storyline wise to come back so soon.
He got fired from. Okay, right.
I appreciate that too. He's dedicated to the storyline.
Love it.
Yeah, so he thinks coming out later, that'll work. So I mean, hey, if he thinks it'll work, go with it. I mentioned the team name when we were mentioning all the new tag teams. War Machine. Oh, we got to talk about this for just a second. I don't want to derail anybody's conversations, but damn it, we need to speak about
derail
this.
It.
I knew this was going.
Peter Rosenberg, Madone.
Oh God, this guy.
He goes on Twitter and says this War Machine guy's got to change his name, otherwise it's going to draw comparisons to War Machine, the former MMA fighter who beat the shit out of Christy Mack, and he's now in jail. And then people, not so politely, reminded Rosenberg that War Machine is not one man, it's two men, and they're a tag team, and that why would you not know who these guys are? Warbeard Hansen has been all over the place in Japan and the UK and all over the US and the Indies, and the same with Raymond Rowe. And even as their team was forming, Raymond Rowe got in a really bad motorcycle accident where his motorcycle hit the post of a car, basically T-boned a car. And, on a four-door car, in between the two doors in the middle, there's a post. He shouldered that post basically and took the brunt of the impact and saved the life of, I think it was his girlfriend or his fiance or somebody who was also on the bike, and went through a hell of a rehab to come back. And it was a big story. I remember on at least on the Indies from Pete, because I knew people that knew him, and it was on the Observer and all that. It was a big story. So I mean, you should know who these guys are. They're former IWGP tag team champions. They're big deals, and he kind of plays it off like I can't know everybody on the Indies, blah, blah, blah. Really what it is he's a WWE mark, which is fine, but don't pretend to be a spokesperson for wrestling or a wrestling journalist or some kind of trendsetter in wrestling when you're just like I said on Twitter, he's a culture vulture. He pretends to know about wrestling. He pretends to know about hip hop. He knows nothing about either. And that's the only reason he's on the radio, because he's a Jewish guy that talks about hip hop. So they throw him on there to be the affirmative action. We've got one white guy out there. And the wrestling thing is, again, it's another one where there aren't a lot of wrestling journalists that are particularly not necessarily reputable, but notable. And he was a loud enough voice or figure on the radio who also expressed an interest in wrestling. And honestly, I think he sees wrestling as an easy way to getting his ends and means accomplished, meaning that I don't think he's as big of a WWE fan as he lets on. He kind of puts on this super fan shtick when he's not as knowledgeable and he's not as really into it as he says he is, and it's to maintain his status as some kind of journalist. I dislike him when he does stuff like this. I'm not going to say I dislike him overall because I don't know the guy. He could be a nice guy. I'm just saying this particular instance, I did not like at all. And discuss.
Makes sense.
At the end of the day, though, he's doing what we'd all be loving to do.
Absolutely, but I like Eric. Not to jerk you off or anything, but I think if you put your knowledge of the program and your knowledge of wrestling against the knowledge of Peter Rosenberg, you'd beat him.
Oh, I'd smoke him easy.
See, so that's what I'm saying is like he's doing it, but it's like
I don't care for his saying like, "Oh, I can't know everybody." Well, if you're working for WWE and they're new signed, you should
do a quick Google search,
right? But especially before saying something about changing somebody's name and character and all that, like think about it. Google who they. It's really easy to Google those guys and find out who they are.
Google search,
right? But especially before saying something.
Even so, I know Steve still hates Sam Roberts over him.
Oh, Sam Roberts is terrible too.
There's no comparison.
I will give Sam Roberts the fact that he is a true wrestling nerd, and the man didn't get laid until he was like 20-something years old, and he taped all of, and this must have been such a burn to him. He taped on VHS all of the Raws ever, and then the WWE Network came out and made his entire collection obsolete. He's a super fan, absolutely a super fan. He's also he has the face for radio and the voice for a mime. He needs to not be in entertainment. I hate everything about his being. His hair, his stupid hairline that goes halfway back his head like a white Stevie Wonder. I'm Sam. You're watching the Raw pre-show. Oh, I like chicken tenders. Yeah, fuck that guy. Sorry. I let it out. It's gone. It's out of my. I've exercised that demon. It's gone. I got angry, and then I let it out, and it's gone. We're good. Did Kat come up with any? Do we have any questions come in? As we go away from that, who's in the chat? We have people in the chat. I didn't realize we had people in the chat.
I didn't even know we had a chat.
Apparently, in the comments, there's a live chat, like on the YouTube page.
Yep.
Anthony. Hi, Anthony. Anthony Marquezine.
You did a lot better than I did.
I think Mark. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. Mark, Marchesin. Now this guy's gonna get his fucking social security number looked up and everything. I just spelled his last name on the internet. I'm sorry. You want me to give out your email and your mom's maiden name while we're at it, Anthony?
Well,
sorry, buddy. So we've lost Amanda. Where are we going tonight with SmackDown? What's happening? Let's go over, because SmackDown happens in approximately 7 minutes.
Give me 1 second. I got this covered here.
All right. So Kat said we answered the question that Sally in Pennsylvania asked about if Enzo could ever recover from this if he was exonerated. So glad we answered it for you, Sally. Congratulations. So Sally's
we got a few things lined up on the docket.
Excellent. What do we got?
We got obviously the build for Rumble with the Yup movement.
Yep.
How do we feel about AJ Styles calling them Cammy?
Love it.
Yeah, I'm not loving it.
It's weird.
Cammy's gonna be a co-champion.
Yeah,
I like that idea.
Cammy is gonna be the first co-champion. Well, let me tell you something, Cammy. It's like no, it's not. They're not in Street. We're not in Street Fighter. This is.
Also, we got Naomi versus Riot Squad's Liv Morgan.
Okay, Liv Morgan. All right. She's the one that throws all the punches all the time, or no, that's the other one.
The ponytail.
The pigtails.
Pigtails.
The fake Miss Bliss.
I call it Carmella Light.
No, she then put the pink in her hair.
Yeah. And they had a little Twitter feud back and forth.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Jax jumping in as well.
When? Okay, I want to know this on the timeline with these things with Enzo. When did Liv break up with him? Before or after that whole thing went on?
Oh wow, Eric, you're a fucking genius, bro. What?
It was way before.
Yeah,
I was gonna say it was before. It seemed like it was beforehand. I'm like, dude, if that synced up, you would have broken the whole case, and it all would have been because of Tyler Bate.
Also, we got a 6-man tag.
6-man tag.
Yep, New Day.
All right.
Rude versus Mahal, Rusev, and Rusev Day.
Rusev Day. Okay.
I'm Aiden English. Thank you.
Yes. Why does Jinder Mahal have to be involved?
Because
they have a lot of other options.
Why does Jinder Mahal? Just ask that.
Why is he still there?
Okay.
Did you hear that the Great Khali did an interview? Well, I can't say he actually did this interview because it's a website. It's an Indian news website, and he may or may not have said it because Indian news websites sometimes make up news. Supposedly, he said that Jinder Mahal was a failure in India. Didn't draw as well as they thought he was going to, which no shit, Sherlock. So it's either somebody stating the obvious and attributing it to the Great Khali, or the Great Khali thinks Jinder Mahal is the shits. Either way, affects my life absolutely none.
Because I think a lot of people in India are thinking, this guy's from fucking Canada.
But he was also the bad guy. Like, how are you going to... Right. Why are a billion Indian people going to cheer for him when he speaks the least common language that's spoken in India, and he's from Canada, and he's the bad guy? Come on. At least make him the good guy. Like, if he was...
Or the all right guy.
Yeah, the all right. The middle of the road kind of okay guy. But not the bad guy. Billion people are going to cheer for the bad guy.
You're quasi-evil. You're the Diet Coke.
He really is, though. Oh, my God. I need to... Please, somebody remind me. I need to put Khali's head on Dr. Evil, and then Jinder Mahal's head on Scott Evil, and then Mini-Me is going to be one of the fucking Singh brothers. Mini-Me and Frau will be the Singh brothers.
I need this in my life right now.
And he goes to push the button. I love that fucking movie. All those movies are so good. They need to make another one.
Yes.
Oh my God. We're getting towards 8 o'clock. Anything else we need to go over before we do our big finish?
I'm looking at
Daniel Bryan.
Becoming a fan.
I give up on life if Roman Reigns wins the Rumble.
So I think Amanda heard. Amanda, what were you saying about Daniel Bryan? Because I think you heard the same thing.
He's going to be kicking off 205 Live to discuss the title.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah.
See, I thought you were going to mention Daniel Bryan.
Okay.
No, I thought you were going to mention that his name. Right. He became one of the favorites to win the Rumble on the betting sites.
No, my pick for winning the Rumble is actually Dolph Ziggler.
Mr. Ziggles.
I think he's going to come in at number 30 and he's going to win.
I think it'd be fucking awesome.
That would be awesome.
But that means he wrestles Brock or AJ?
Yep.
It's going to be Roman Reigns.
I mean, it really just feels like it's going to be Roman Reigns, doesn't it?
Oh,
Just set yourself up for the disappointment now. It's going to be Roman
I'm already ready for the disappointment.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who would be a good winner for it this year. Ziggler's not a bad choice, but I'm saying, like, who would be, out of everybody on the roster, who would be the number one choice? Would it be...
For me, it would be Shinsuke.
Yeah. I tend to agree.
Well, then you get Shinsuke and AJ.
Yeah, or what about, would Finn AJ?
No, but Finn's on Raw.
Yeah, but if you win the Rumble, you can challenge for either.
That's right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can.
That's how it used to be.
Yeah, remember with Batista, thumbs down?
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
But see, here's the thing. You can get to the Roman Brock match without Roman winning the Rumble, too, because he could just win the chamber. And he'll still, and
but what if Braun wins?
And
hello?
Well, that's
Braun is winning.
Braun's winning the title?
Yeah, he's winning the
Braun,
title.
I wanted Braun to win the Rumble, but he's not going to be in the Rumble because
Brock's keeping the title. Brock's keeping the title.
That's
Brock's
interesting.
keeping the title.
Yeah, Brock.
Yeah. But
Brock's
Amanda brings up a good point, though, because that's interesting. Who would possibly be the Rumble winner if Braun was the champion? You know?
Still Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to change.
An ambulance match part 2.
It's going to be, right. It's going to be who jobs to win.
It'll be a fire truck match.
It's going to be a competition who can flip the biggest thing.
Yes.
And then
Reigns will flip the building.
Oh my goodness. It'll Kurt Hawkins said something on Twitter to the effect of Braun Strowman keeps picking me up and power slamming me through things and telling me I'm going to get these hands. It doesn't even make any sense.
You got them hands.
Right, and I understand if you're going to, because usually when you give hands to someone, you're punching them. You're not slamming them. So hopefully he does more hand delivering and actually punches people. That would be saddest. Or just pick up a barbell and use the barbell to swing around and hit people.
Braun was born to hand dive.
Braun, I don't think we don't have enough time for this, but I'm going to try and get this point in very briefly. Whatever Vince McMahon believes he has in Roman Reigns, I like how I tied in believes, he has in Braun Strowman.
100%.
Yeah.
Braun is outside of the ring an articulate guy who carries himself well on television and presents himself, despite his gruff image, presents himself well in outside of the ring situations. He's in good shape. He's never been popped for steroids as far as I know. He hasn't raped anybody. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's very clear. I hate that that's the lowest. We have to set the bar so low nowadays. Did they rape anybody? No. All right. That's a good start. Let's start there. But
that's a good man right there.
But what I'm saying is, like, they think that the Rocket's going to be strapped to Roman and he's going to be the guy to carry the brand for the next however long. I think that guy is Braun Strowman.
He was great on Austin's podcast probably 6 months back.
With a little tweaking, you could have Roman and Braun be the Rock and Stone Cold, or the Triple H and Stone Cold, or the Triple H and Rock, wherein Roman Reigns plays Triple H and Braun is the Rock, the babyface.
Yeah.
Which is you could do there hasn't been a big babyface like this in terms of size like him. Hillbilly Jim. You know what I mean? He was a big guy. Him and Big John Studd, big guys over baby faces. It's definitely doable, and I think if they put the time into him that they put into Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman would be just as big, if not bigger. I think he'd be a bigger star than Roman Reigns. Give him the belt and see what happens. He fucking flipped a truck over.
Yeah, a $12 million truck.
Cost $12 million.
Oh my god.
And he got really good pretty quickly too.
Yeah.
He stunk. I will be the first to admit he stunk and got so much better, which just goes to show they invest time in the right person and they can improve and flourish.
Because like 2 years ago, none of us thought that.
No,
Braun
he wasn't in good shape.
Wasn't he a Rosebud?
He was a fucking Rosebud.
Yeah, and then he was a Wyatt for a bit.
He was just like he was like a flabby member of the Wyatt family. Like he had excess. He was still carrying himself like a power lifter. So he was
like a giant version of Bray.
Almost. Yeah. He was like Bray and Luke Harper had a baby. Ugh. And it was Braun Strowman.
Bray Harper.
Pretty much. I mean, that's what he looked like with the mask and the whole deal. But okay, that was my point, that I believe Braun Strowman could be the guy to lead. If they wanted him to lead the charge, he could lead the charge. He could be a long-term champion. Like, Brock Lesnar's a long-term champion. I think Braun Strowman could maintain that.
I agree.
And be a regular thing about Brock is he doesn't have to put in that many performances. You have a guy like Braun on the roster. He's still a big guy, still agile. People still love. It would be much better because then he would be defending at all the pay-per-views and showing up on all the Raws.
Whether he's a heel or a face doesn't matter.
No, and it really doesn't. But I think he'll be a really big, when the time comes, he's going to be a really big baby face.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He'll flip, you know, like everybody, you go back and forth in your career, but when they do that official Braun Strowman is a baby face moment, people are going to lose their shit.
What are the possibilities, real quick before we end this here, what are the possibilities that do we all think that Kane is the most likely to take the pinfall in this triple threat?
Oh yeah.
Isn't that why he's in the match?
Yeah, that's
right. Well,
Yeah.
And again, even though we all thought that Ziggler would be the one to take the pin in that one, but that's this is the Universal title. It's different. But what I'm getting at is, if Kane is the one that takes the pin, they could still technically put Braun in the Rumble if they chose to. They've done it before.
Yeah, he could definitely enter the Rumble.
Sure. Well,
you're right.
If that happens, I might have to change my pick to Braun for the Rumble win.
Yeah, if he's.
Well, I don't think you're going to know until his music hits. You won't know.
Right.
He just
big great pop.
And I also have to say this, and I've mentioned this on a bunch of my Rumble blogs. I hate when the Rumble is not the last match.
What if Braun's number 30?
Oh my God, Philadelphia!
You have like Roman Reigns and
people
no chance of winning, and Braun's music hits.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be great, because as we discussed, Philly is preparing. They're already going to riot one way or another with the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So they might have a practice riot for the Royal Rumble, depending on how things go.
Practice riots. I love practice riots.
They're one of the few cities that will burn their own town down for getting a win.
Yeah, I don't understand. Them and Los Angeles seem to be the two towns, and Toronto did it too, didn't they?
Riot?
Wasn't there a riot in Toronto for like the Stanley Cup or something?
No, Vancouver.
Vancouver, okay.
It was like friendly, like we threw like maple syrup at each other.
Wonderful.
And
was that in '94 when the Rangers won?
I disagree.
No, I think when Vancouver won, they had like a riot, right?
I don't remember.
There was something, but
there was a Canadian.
There are very few places in the world that do it, and Philly's one of them, where they're just like, we're so excited about things, we're gonna break all of the stuff we own.
They got so confused they burned down their own town.
That doesn't, yeah. So good luck to you, Philly. You're gonna have two very interesting weekends in a row. If you are not a sports fan, find other things to do. Maybe get out of town for a couple weeks.
Yeah,
take it.
Lie low.
Yeah, lay low for real.
It's your version of the Purge.
For real, that's very accurate. The Eagles haven't been to the Super Bowl very many times, so yeah, I can see it being a lawless wasteland somewhere in Philly. So heads up, everybody. Stay safe in Philly. All right, so we will close out unless anybody has any. Speak now or forever hold your pee.
Well, till next week.
There you go. Yes, you can't pee until next week. Yeah. Just come back retaining fluid. So this has been the War Report, brought to you by TagMeADate.com, the first and only dating site exclusively for wrestling fans. It is free to sign up. We have thousands of superstars and divas at your fingertips, digitally and figuratively, if you so choose. You can search by zip code and location, and you can choose by your favorite wrestler. You can choose by lots of other metrics, and there's a messaging system. You can send emojis and chat. It doesn't cost money to chat like some other lesser dating sites. We were the first social media dating site to put up a video intro rather than a profile picture, so you can put up a promo video. We did it before Facebook. We did it before any of those mother lovers. We'll keep it clean for the end of the show. We did it first. And frankly, we did it best because we did it first. So there. But sign up for tagmeadate.com. It's absolutely free, and you can find your tag team match. Also, if you submit a question to askthewarreport@gmail.com, you'll be entered in our pay-per-view pick'em. Ooh, we should have picked one. Right?
I don't think we have time.
No, we don't. Okay, so WrestleRumble.com, pick them. I'll just give you the gist.
You will be emailed.
Right. askthewarreport@gmail.com is the email address that you can send questions to. We will answer as many as we can throughout the month. At the end of the month, when a pay-per-view comes up, we pick one lucky question to get a free Wrestle Rumble entry. This month's Royal Rumble is the time to enter. If you, regardless of whether or not you get a free pick, you should look at WrestleRumble.com and sign up. You can win cold hard cash. You can win a Winged Eagle Championship belt. Yeah. Oh man. And so there's various and sundry prizes that escalate to just a ridiculous number. So check it out, WrestleRumble.com. And what we'll do is, I guess, on social media, we'll discuss it because Kat is our question wrangler. Mm-hmm. So we'll have her kind of go through the questions that we got and let us know and what they were and who they were from, and then we will send a response to them on social media and through email. So just so people know, so if you follow the Tag Me a Date social media and you see somebody's name, don't wait up for an email. You didn't win. That's the best way to do it. Follow at Tag Me a Date. So go to youtube.com, put Tag Me a Date, all one word, Tag Me a Date, no spaces. You can like and subscribe. Hit the bell for push updates to your mobile device for when we go live or upload a video. And we are live every Tuesday, 7 p.m. on Eastern time. So you can catch us next Tuesday, 7 p.m. as we recap the Royal Rumble and all the other goings on from wrestling this week. Follow Tag Me a Date on social media at Tag Me a Date. And you can keep up with updates to the site and our mobile apps and all that good stuff. And we will see you next week right back here on YouTube. Like I said, type in Tag Me a Date, find the Tag Me a Date channel, and we'll be live 7 p.m. Eastern time next Tuesday. Thank you for watching.